So I'm Crystal.
Good. I am Dan.
I went to Chile.
I went to Germany.
Well, Chile was amazing.
Germany was fantastic.
Well, in Chile, we went horseback riding in the Andes Mountains. We got to learn the cueca dance, which is the national dance. We had barbecues like every other day. And you got to learn Spanish at a language school with different people from all over the world. And then we taught children English.
Sounds pretty fun. In Germany, we got to explore Berlin. We got to stay with a host family. We stayed with our host family too. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. We also went to a school in Germany. We got to go to the Black Forest. We got to have dinner at a castle. Yeah, okay. Castle.
I traveled to the Dominican Republic.
And I traveled to Santiago, Chile in 2013.
I traveled to Italy.
And I went to the Dominican Republic. I traveled to Rwanda.
I've recently visited both Italy, Germany.
My name is Daniel Klein. I'm an undergraduate in the childhood education program. And this past summer I went to Germany.
And I traveled to Zambia.
To other students who think they want to travel anywhere, I would say do it. Don't worry about the price, don't worry about anything else.
If you have even the slightest thought in your mind about studying abroad, then don't think about it, don't hesitate, don't contemplate, just do it.
Oh, go. I would say go. There's this quote that I really like that says, traveling is the only thing that you can spend money on that actually makes you richer.
We started in Rome and we went to a small town called Torre Maggiore, which is south of Rome. And that was where we taught in the elementary school. We were there for 10 days and then we traveled to Florence and Siena to visit the towns.
I traveled to Rwanda. Rwanda is in eastern Africa near Kenya and Tanzania. We traveled all across the country. We went on a safari, we went to several different schools, we went through many different villages, and we visited a lot of genocide memorials. You see a big difference in 20 years and you really get to see how a country has advanced beyond something as destructive as a genocide.
I went to Chile, and Chile is in South America, so they are a Spanish-speaking country. And not only did we learn Spanish, but after learning Spanish for 2 weeks, we spent the third week in the elementary school teaching the children English, which is beneficial to me because I plan on working with English language learners in the future.
When I got to travel to Germany, we got to go to the Black Forest. And the Black Forest was a lot larger than I thought it would be. And it was so beautiful and expansive, and there were so many trees that I just couldn't help myself. It was incredible.
I traveled to Santiago, Chile, and Santiago is almost like the New York City of Chile. It's a very big city right in the middle of Chile because it runs down the entire side of South America. So we were right in a big city, and I lived in an apartment with a host family, so we were right where I needed to be for walking distance to go to our Spanish immersion school, to go to the partnering university.
So the Dominican Republic is an island located near South America. The country is so beautiful. There's so much nature and it's a really beautiful surfing community as well.
Well, I loved Zambia in general. We stayed in Lusaka, which is the capital city of Zambia, and then we spent time in the villages as well. When I was in Zambia, I went with the purpose to research social justice in education. It was very important for me to see how social justice plays a role in the education of Zambian students. We know in America that social justice is a very big deal and it plays a very significant role in the education of our students.
So the Dominican Republic is a very impoverished country. And I think that's what people first think of when they hear the Dominican Republic, but it's a country that's full of love and people who want to support one another, and that's probably what I took away most from my experience at the Dominican Republic.
I was able to finance the trip through student loans that I took out through Buff State. They weren't specifically for the IPDS program, but I just decided that I'm in debt anyways, and why not just add to my experiences and worry about it later.
That was the one thing I was nervous about before learning about the different options there were for paying for the trip, and so I was able to go because of my financial aid through Buff State, as well as the grants that I was given through the department.
On the trip has a volunteer portion, so I was able to find some assistance from the Volunteer Learning Service Center and also the Graduate Student Association.
I feel that without the help of donors, I would not have been able to fund myself through this.
As a single mom, I was terrified to figure out how I was going to finance a trip to South America for 3 weeks.
One of the ways that I financed the trip was through scholarship. The SRCC, I was able to research a topic that I would explore in the Dominican Republic and present it to our campus community.
The IPDS program has affected me academically by broadening my horizons on what schools look like in other places in the world. I like to take ideas from everywhere and combine it into one teaching philosophy and style. So it's really great to see a different point of view and a different perspective in what they do in the other countries.
It also helped me learn more about working with students who don't speak English. I know here that's frequent in the public school systems, and so being able to experience that and gain an empathy for how they experience life without knowing the native language really helped me professionally learn how to approach students and communicate with the students when there's a language barrier.
As an English teacher, I've always struggled with how to talk about genocide with my students. It's something that it's uncomfortable to hold a whole classroom discussion about, that we kind of just tend to sugarcoat what happened or ignore the depths of really the horrific events that occurred. So going to Rwanda really opened my eyes on how I can discuss it, not just in the sense of the terrible things that happened, but also how we can come back from that.
My IPDS experience has affected me personally by making me more confident. On my IPDS experience, I had to face a lot of fears and try a lot of new things. And now that I've done that, now being back in the States, I'm more willing to try new things and to experiment. And I feel now that there isn't anything that I put my mind to that I can't accomplish.
I feel that this has helped me become a better academic and be able to see things that I would not have seen before in my previous placements.
Professionally, having this abroad experience was huge. Now that I'm applying for graduate school and for jobs, walking into an interview and telling someone about how I had this great initiative to travel to a new country is incredible. And there's nothing like sitting down and telling someone about yourself as an educator and being able to say, I put myself out there, I had this kind of experience where I had to speak another language. ESL is huge right now. We have so many students and families in our area that don't speak English as their first language. And I wanted to really put myself in that situation where on a daily basis I would have something that made me comfortable or uncomfortable, and I wanted to just take everything in. So when I came back home, now as a teacher, I can figure out ways to communicate effectively, what I can do or maybe avoid to make someone feel more comfortable. Personally, traveling to Chile and actually living in Santiago for 3 weeks changed me greatly. It made me so flexible. It made me see things in different ways. It made me stop and think about what other people are going through before reacting to situations, especially when you're abroad and you're in a country where you don't know how things work.
Professionally, I look at students so differently. When I went into the school, I knew very little Spanish. I was standing there with predominantly Spanish speakers, so I felt like a deer in headlights because I didn't know what anybody was saying, and it made me very nervous. So now when I am in the professional field, I kind of know what that's like because I've experienced that there. But one of the most important things was I was going to go into the Dominican Republic thinking that I was going to change everybody's life and that I was made here to help and to make change in the community, which I think that I did, but I think what happened more was that the people and the children have changed me and the way that I view other people and the way that I interact with other people. So for me, it was more life-changing than anything, and I would
definitely go again?
Zambia affected me personally more than I thought it would. I actually loved being there and I loved the culture. I do want to go back very soon. But I still keep in contact with all of my friends that I met there.
Coming back from the Dominican Republic, I decided to pursue undergraduate research, where I developed a research thesis and traveled back to the Dominican Republic to implement that plan. And my research really focused on areas of classroom management that affect student behavior, and it was an awesome, enriching experience.
Personally, I have developed friendships with people abroad that I would not have had if I had only stayed here in the States.
So now coming home, I have to remember to take a step back and say, not everyone does things the same way, and that's okay.
Traveling abroad to different countries and meeting different people and learning about different cultures has really encouraged me to become a lifelong learner. Just hearing about their different values and their different ideals, it really prepares me for what I want to do in the future. I want to work in a school that has different languages, different cultures, people from all over the world, and I feel like this really gives me a good perspective on how I can approach those students and make the most out of my teaching for them. Traveling to other countries has made me appreciate other cultures, and I feel like that's really important to have as a teacher, is to see students from other backgrounds, different cultures, different languages as something that's beneficial to the classroom, that can really contribute to discussions and have other students who may not have that kind of diversity in their life consider things from that point of view, from another point of view.
I think that the IPDS program has set me apart from other applicants when I apply for jobs because I have more worldly experience.
Having this experience definitely will set me apart from other candidates when I apply for jobs, just because I've had the experience of working in schools that are outside of the United States. It'll give different perspectives on how other countries teach their students, things that they do differently, things that we could include in our classrooms here.
When I apply for graduate school or apply for a job, this makes me so much more diverse and so much more willing to take a chance than other people in the field. And I feel that is really necessary going into my future.
I think my IPDS experience sets me apart from other job applicants because it shows that I'm willing to take more risks, that I'm willing to put myself in uncomfortable situations, and that I can work in diverse situations.
This experience has inspired me to want to go out and see more of the world and immerse myself into as many cultures as I can.
This has inspired me to become a lifelong traveler and to continue to meet up with the friends that I've made in different countries.
This experience has inspired me to travel more, to pursue everything that I want on a professional and academic level, to apply to a doctorate program focused on urban education policy with a concentration in international education, and to be a change agent on a global level.
This experience has really inspired me to travel the world. Just being over in Italy has really given me the travel bug, and so I definitely want to travel anywhere I can, as much as I can.
This experience has inspired me to take more chances in life. I want to travel and look for new opportunities to grow.
This experience has inspired me to seek out international opportunities all over the world. Rwanda had a huge impact on me. I'm hoping to go back next year. I applied for a Fulbright to teach English at a Rwandan university, and I'm also considering a doctorate in international education.
This experience has inspired me to embrace every day and to push out of my comfort zone.
Why did you go abroad? Why did you join the IPDS program? Why did it grab you and pull you along?
I joined the IPDS program because I wanted to experience a different culture, put myself in a challenging situation so that way I would become a better person and a better teacher.
What she said.